I love to eat eggs. Eggs in the morning. Ooh, I love eggs. Are you, Colby? We're not filming this part.
Mmm.
Num num num.
That was really good.
Hey guys!
What do you do with your eggshells after you've eaten an incredible edible egg dish inside? Can you compost them? Can you put them in your garden? Yes, but you might be surprised about what happens after you add them to your compost or your soil. Hi, I'm Amy Landers with GardensThatMatter.com, where we help families create beautiful, bountiful gardens together. And ever since we got our first chickens more than 10 years ago, they were a gift from a dear friend and our next door neighbor at the time, I have loved eggs. Fresh, homegrown eggs, especially if those chickens are out there eating grass and seeds and bugs. They're so good. You will never go back. But this isn't a chicken commercial. A chicken in every backyard. Eggshells. Can you compost them? Definitely. You can put them in your compost or right into your garden soil. Then what happens? They break down very, very slowly. Archaeologists actually use eggs in archaeological digs to help them figure out how old remains are. So they have been able to date remains up to 1 million years old based on the eggshells found in the burial site. So we know that depending on the circumstances, eggshells are going to break down really slowly in our yards. So while eggshells do have calcium and other micronutrients in them, they're not going to be immediately available to our plants. Now, the earth isn't covered in eggshells, so what is happening to the eggs? They must be breaking down somehow. Well, they can break down in certain conditions. Acidic conditions, you are going to have the eggshells would be dissolving. You can put an eggshell in vinegar and it'll dissolve. Then you also have some bacteria that if the conditions are right, they can break down the mineral protein complex that is an eggshell. And they get weathered, they get broken down, they get smaller and smaller pieces. And finally, birds and other creatures will eat them as a calcium source. So a lot of people who do have backyard chickens will dry their eggs out and crush them up and give them back to the chickens. Now, let's say you want to do something with your eggshells. You maybe want to compost them, you're not sure, but now you know that they might last for 1 million years. What's a gardener to do? What's a composter to do? Well, we prefer the simple approach of we do put them in our compost. We know they're going to be in that compost for a while. If we see some, we'll crush them up, especially as they get older and drier, they're easier to crush. We'll just sift them out, put them back in, or if they make it to the garden, no problem. You can do that vinegar trick and dissolve them in vinegar, and then you'd want to water that vinegar down, and you could add it to your compost pile or pour it onto your plants, but make sure you dilute it a lot because vinegar is an acid. You don't want to pour acid right on your plants. You can also dry them out, and then some people actually run them through a coffee grinder or a blender. We don't have time for that at our house, but you could do that and it would make the eggshell more available to plants and creatures more quickly. But for us, we are okay with putting the eggshells into the compost pile, and maybe hundreds, thousands, million years from now, an archaeologist will dig it up and say, wow, these people sure ate a lot of eggs. Do you have more questions about what you can and can't compost, or about composting in general? Well, we've made it easy for you. In the description for this video, you'll find links to our website, GardensThatMatter.com. One of them is going to take you to a spot where you can sign up for the ins and outs of composting. This is a quick reference you can print to make it easy to know what can and can't go in the compost. You can also ask your own question about composting or gardening for me to answer in a future video. Thank you so much for watching today. If you want more garden goodness, be sure to subscribe. And if you know somebody else who's interested in composting, I'd love for you to share this video with them. Until I see you again, happy gardening.